Hello everyone, I'm bringing out a new team in the Master League Premier Cup. This time I'm bringing out Gengar. This one is a legacy one that I've had for a long time, which is why it hasn't got Shadow Punch. It doesn't actually matter as much as it might sound though, because just having Shadow Punch sort of existing means your opponent thinks you might be baiting occasionally. And in this case we're not, we're never baiting. That's why it's the Master. With that in mind, I've also got Gyarados and Snorlax, which you'll probably recognise from the team with Shadow Swampert I ran earlier this season. The principle's basically the same. Snorlax and Gyarados are there to take the shields down, and then Gengar's there to farm and mop up at the back. In particular, if they've got a Metagross, it eats it for lunch, because Shadow Claw tears it to shreds, and Shadow Ball, well, it's just devastating to everything else. Focus Blast is our coverage nuke, in case we do Snorlax, because otherwise Snorlax just completely destroys us. So with that in mind, we're just going to hop straight into some matches. What do you think about running time of these, actually? Do you like shorter and sweeter, or longer and more matches? I'm ambivalent. It keeps me talking for half an hour, but sometimes it's good that way. Right, so they lead a Metagross into our Gyarados, and we go for a switch immediately. I don't think we needed to, but either way, our Snorlax is aligned to their Gyarados, so that's okay. We're just going to go straight into Body Slams. By doing that, actually, I think we convinced. I don't know if they were switching anyway, but it's good, because what we really want to do is have the Metagross at the back for the Gengar to munch. A bit of lag there. And now there, Gyarados has Dragon Breath, so against our Gyarados it would have been a very neutral matchup. We've got slightly more IV, but I don't think it'd make any difference to the outcome. Crunch incoming, right, that's okay. We're going to not quite get to a Body Slam, but we are going to be able to finish off with our own Gyarados. There we go. So, back out comes Machamp. They're obviously trying to keep that away from whatever was in the back. That's okay, that's fine by us. Machamp is very nicely farmable from Gengar because it's got a triple resist to its fighting damage. We only have to watch out for the rock slides. So we're taking the shield with an Aqua Tail, that's good. We're just going to not let the shield come through. Sorry, let the rock slide come through, and there we go. Throw an Aqua Tail. Take a nice chunk off, it's going to take us out, that's fine, because what we're going to do now is we're just going to farm it down with Shadow Claws. Incoming Rock Slide, probably. This would be the sensible play. Maybe they haven't quite got the energy. No, it's Rock Slide. Okay, good call on the shield then. So, Gengar versus Machamp and a shield equal. Right, so we're not baiting because we can't. They called it anyway, that's fine. I find my opponents are mostly correctly shielding. I think just because they just cannot afford to be hit by a Shadow Ball. That's fine, that's fine, that's where it goes. So there we go, incoming Shadow Ball. And this will quite nicely destroy that Metagross. Bonk. Goodbye. Right, so next up, what have we got? Oh. Leading into Gyarados into a Machamp. That's good. We don't want to be on the Snorlax. Actually, if we can get the Gengar in to farm it, that would be good. So we're just going to go straight into some Aqua Tails. This will almost certainly be a Rock Slide, but we don't shield, and we quite stubbornly hold on to our shields. And throw Aqua Tail. There we go. Aqua Tail going through. Goodbye. And in comes Magnezone. Yikes. Okay, so this is bad news for us, so we go with the Snorlax. What we're going to do is build up quickly to an Earthquake. We're just going to hope they're going to Wild Charge us. Yeah, they do. Good. And the thing is, Snorlaxes don't often shield, and most people start to realise that, so they just go straight into their nukes. But that's fine. I think we're going to have to shield here if we want to get to this Earthquake, actually. Looking at this. And yes, Wild Charge coming through, and actually through a Body Slam, they're double debuffed on their defence now, so actually we're hoping they're going to have to shield this. So they don't shield it. Okay, so we take them out with a Body Slam. Not actually ideal, but they've got the Machamp ready for us, and so we're just going to be able to perhaps get to 2 Body Slams against it. We are down a shield though, that's not where we wanted to be, so let's see if we can get that other shield out. Go on. Go on, shield it, you know you want to. And they do, excellent. So their shields are now down, Machamp, in comes Gengar, great. And they switch to Metagross. No, no. Here comes the Shadow Ball, and you can see just how much this does. It does a horrendous amount, and that's just goodbye. It's probably Rock Slide, probably have a shield. I don't know if Rock Slide will quite take us out, but it'll certainly do us an awful lot, and we don't really want to find out. Good game to my opponent. See, the joy of Gengar is, whilst it's perhaps not the best thing in the world, I mean, I do think the Focus Blast is a bit of a liability here. Not having Shadow Punch, it's a real shame sometimes. But just being able to nuke things is just so delicious. So we'll roll with it and just have some fun. So they switch to a Mamoswine. At this point, we switch to a Snorlax. Now, I'm not actually sure we should switch here, but let's go with it anyway. It's a neutral matchup and a neutral matchup, and our Snorlax is quite sturdy. Avalanche does quite a lot of damage, but Mamoswine is fairly fragile, so we'll just throw the Body Slams to see if we can get that shield off them. Right, Body Slam incoming, yep. And there we go. Right, next up. Avalanche again. Oh, yikes. And they don't get quite to a Body Slam. Wow, that's a good call on my opponent's part. So at that point we're just going to go for a farm down, and we don't quite make it. They get the Avalanche first. This is not looking so good actually. Should have probably thrown the Aqua Tail, got a shield at least. However, we do now have 2 Aqua Tails loaded, so that's okay. That's giving us something to do. And we're just going to go, oh, and in comes the Metagross. That's great. Now that does mean that they've got their Garchomp in the back with a loaded energy, and that's not good because ground type is one of the things that Gengar is vulnerable to. But that's okay, we're just going to crunch away and farm down. Now, if we shield hard, we may get away with this, and we can shield, and basically if we build up to a couple of Shadow Balls, ooh, incoming charge move. Right, we've got to shield this, we've got no choice really, because even a Sand Tomb is going to do us a lot of damage. So we'll go through this, build up to another Shadow Ball, and overfarm slightly in the hope that we're going to get to another Shadow Ball against the Metagross before it can finish us off. And not quite. Misjudged that slightly. They're going to take us out with this. There we go. Good game to my opponent. Because this isn't going to work here, is it? We're not going to quite get... Ooh, nearly got to the crunch, but not quite. Not quite. So, next up we've got... What have we got? Gyarados into Togekiss. This is not a good matchup for us, so we switch immediately. Gengar is actually better against Togekiss than Swampert is, because it obviously resists the charm damage, but it's still not great. So we're just going to build up lots of Body Slam energy, because in the Snorlax face-off, it's kind of a who pulls the trigger on their superpower first, and so we need to nibble down their health to the point where they're vulnerable to it. And it's a Skull Bash. Actually, that's an interesting play. I've not seen that very often, but that's actually quite a good call here, because obviously Snorlax has got the hit points to build up, and the extra defense is going to help here, particularly in this matchup, where our lick damage hasn't done them very much at all. And look at that, Body Slam is doing less damage. They're probably going to go for another one as well. That's going to be irritating. So we're just going to throw our Body Slams sort of quickly as possible before they boost themselves again. There we go. And there we go, another Body Slam going through, and if we're lucky, we'll get the last one. No, I think this will be the Skull Bash coming in. It is, but now their health is a bit too low for it to matter too much. So Gyarados can come in and farm, and we're going to Dragon Breath them down. And in comes the Togekiss again. Well, okay, so we don't really like this matchup because it was double resistant to Dragon Breath, but Aqua Tail does make it a lot less bad than it used to be. It used to be that, you know, with Crunch as your fastest move, obviously Crunch is resisted as well, and you needed to land a Hydro Pump. Aqua Tail actually means you've got some play still. But we're going to switch now, and we're just going to get in Gengar to start farming, and they've got a Swampert. This is not good for us. They've got Swampert and 2 shields, so even worse. I think this is game over at this point, actually. But maybe we can still carry it, actually. Maybe if we let this go down, yeah, Hurricane takes us out, and we're just going to bring in the Gyarados and hope to carry the game with that one. This does actually fairly well against a Swampert, because it resists most of its moves. If they get to a Sludge Wave, we're in trouble. That will take a lot of damage to us. So we're just going to go shield, and throw Aqua Tails, and hopefully pressure their shields out. There we go, build up a nice big chunk of energy, counting the moves a little bit to try and sneak in just a little bit more farming before they get to their Hydro Cannon, and there we go. So, 2 Aqua Tails loaded, and they've got their Mauve loaded, of course they have. This will likely be an Ancient Power. And that will very nearly take us out, but is it going to be enough? Are we going to be able to get their Aqua Tail to land? They've got the shield. No. Another Aqua Tail might have done though. I think that was close. So next up, bit of a slow load, but off we go. Right, where are we? Gyarados into Mamoswine. So we're doing neutral to each other. The ice and the water and the flying make it neutral, and our Dragon Breath is neutral to them. We let this through, and it does a huge amount of damage. But our Aqua Tail in return, if they don't shield it, will do an even bigger amount of damage. So that's okay. It's super effective against the ground type and not resisted by the ice. And we switch immediately to the Gengar, and hopefully to farm it down. And we successfully farm down. In comes a Garchomp, which looks like it's got Dragon Tail. Okay, that's a bit unusual. We just go straight into Shadow Ball. They obviously didn't anticipate a bait, or maybe they're just going to let it go no matter what. We shield here. I think with having Shadow Balled it, we can now farm it down, and we're just going to go for that. Farmy, farmy, farmy. No, I don't think we're going to make it, and so we've got to throw. Okay, so we end up throwing the Shadow Ball. This is the downside of it. Without the Shadow Punch, this has just wasted all our energy. But I guess it didn't matter, we were going to go down anyway. So we're going to farm down with the Gyarados and see what they got in the back. So it's a Metagross. That's okay. We are going to be able to crunch that. Hopefully get the shield off them. I think they can't really afford not to shield here. And, oh well, that's brave. Okay, well, they don't shield. So we're just going to go straight to an Aqua Tail. We don't quite make it. Equal shields, but low health, and a Snorlax with a super effective lick. I think that's good for us. They might have 2 Meat Mashers loaded, but Snorlax is a chunky monkey and can survive that. So we're just going to finish off with licks. And yep, sure enough, incoming another... Oh, an Earthquake. Well, even so, we can take that as well. Didn't bother throwing the move because they had a shield and they would have shielded it, whereas the lick damage does slightly more than a shielded charge move. It does 3 damage rather than 1. Better than nothing. Right, so next up we're just going to hop into another set, and I think that was a warm up round, and we're just going to go into a straight set now. Oh, Pokemon Go is not responding. Jolly good. Wow, and a bit of loading lag too. Okay, so Togekiss into the lead. Again, as before, we don't like this matchup, so we switch to the Snorlax. In comes the Machamp. That's not so good. They've essentially double countered us, so this is going to be a tough one. However, Machamp is quite good for Gengar to come and farm, so that's what we want to do. We're just going to let this go down. Snorlax, even hard countered, the Snorlax is still, doing some quite damage to that Machamp, and we're going to get a Body Slam on it. Now, either they shield or they get very, very low. I don't know if this will quite take them out, but it's going to be close. So, even a losing matchup there, we've got the Machamp down to the yellow, so it's one of the reasons Snorlax is just so amazing. We shield this because it's probably Rock Slide, and it's Cross Chop. That's okay. It's a 35 energy versus 45 energy, so that's fine. We get to farm down anyway, and they only get 1 shield off us. Togekiss comes in, we resist their charms, and so we just throw Shadow Balls at them. Again, I'm hoping my opponent anticipates a Shadow Punch and lets this land. No, no such luck. Still, we shield this because our next Shadow Ball will actually do them a lot of damage. Ancient Power coming through, okay, nibble, nibble, nibble. And we can overfarm a little bit, just to get a bit of energy lead. Gengar is all about the energy. Getting to those moves faster than anyone else is the way to go. And goodbye. And it's a Metagross in the back, and we don't quite get there. We don't quite get to the move, and I think this is probably going to go our way. Still, we're going to the crunches, and we'll play it out. If we got that Shadow Ball, I think it would have been almost one-shot kill, but okay, so incoming Meteor Mash. This is going to do us a lot of damage. It is not going to take us out. No, not quite. So we are going to get to the Aqua Tail, and we're going to finish off. There we go, again to my opponent. What we've got next. Gyarados into Magnezone. This is disastrous for us. We need to switch immediately, and we're going to Snorlax. Build up to an Earthquake, but obviously we don't. Well, actually, we're still going to build to an Earthquake because this is Steel type. We're just going to Earthquake the Metagross. It's going to meet your Mashers in return. That's fine. And the Earthquake will either take it out or get a shield. Either's fine by us. So, as I may have mentioned before, the reason we've got Earthquake on here and not Superpower is because I can't be bothered to charge TM it anymore. It's taken 35 to get this moveset, and I'm not doing any more. So, we carry on licking, and we're just going to let it go, because now we can bring Gengar in and go nibble nibble against that Psychic typing. So, look at those Shadow Claws, taking it apart. We're going to farm that for a nice big chunk of energy. Going to shield the charge move, that's fine. That shields are for our Gribbly Ghost in the back. There we go. Goodbye. So, what we got next? So, Magnezone. Focus Blast will be super effective to this if they let it land, but we're just not going to tip our hand that we've got Focus Blast just yet. And Shadow Ball away. And Shadow Ball the Gyarados as well. No shields left, so that's great. And how much damage does this do? An immense amount. Brilliant. Okay, so our Gyarados can come in, and they've got Waterfall, which are going to let this land because it's probably an Aqua Tail, and we resist it. As a crunch. Okay, well it hits a bit harder, but that's okay because what they've got in the back is a Magnezone, and if we can get to our move first, what am I doing? Why am I saving up extra moves? I should have gone straight into the crunch there, I think, but either way, a double Aqua Tail will very nearly take it out. That's fine, and there we go. Oh, look at that, and we just about beat a Magnezone with a Gyarados. I think my opponent was saving for double wild charges and didn't quite make it. Either way. Again to my opponent. And what we've got next? And next up we've got Gyarados leading into Garchomp. Good lead for us. We hit them for super effective, they hit us for not very effective. If we're really lucky, they'll try and throw a Sand Tomb at us. And that'll do no damage at all because we're just not going to shield. So there we go, Aqua Tail gun coming. Usually they'll throw an Outrage though, so I expect this probably is an Outrage, just because Sand Tomb does do no damage. And there we go, Outrage does quite a lot of damage, as you can see. So we nibble away, and there Gyarados comes in with Waterfall, so we're just going to stay in, and we're just going to go move into a crunch. Obviously we resist their Waterfalls, and we charge slightly faster with our Dragon Breath, so we switch to our Snorlax now, and again, pick away at it, throw the Body Slam, try and get that shield off. There we go. Garchomp is a problem for Gengar because obviously the Mud Shot is super effective. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but then Gengar doesn't have a lot of hit points, so we can't really afford to sit there and soak it. But we are going to let this double Aqua Tail go through, and we're going to let it land. And yeah, they've taken a bit of our Snorlax down. That's fine. Win the switch, and in comes the Garchomp again. That's good. So we can Body Slam that. They have blown all their energy on that Outrage, so it's going to take them a little while to build up another one. But not as long as you might think. It's always terrifying how fast that builds up, particularly when you lag and you lose track of how many of the moves they're thrown. So this probably a Sand Tomb. Yep. But it's not going to finish us, so they're going to throw another Sand Tomb. That's fine. We're going to go for double Sand Tombs. It's fine. It empties their energy out, and then we can bring in Gengar and just nibble away. And there's a Metagross. Brilliant. Okay, straight into Shadow Ball. Again, no bait because we are the master, and off we go. Goodbye. And yeah, so I think they were anticipating Shadow Punch, which was probably a good call because obviously that would be the sensible play there, to bait their shield with Shadow Punch and then throw the Shadow Ball, but we didn't because we don't have that Shadow Punch. And then we've got next up Garchomp lead. Again, good solid lead. We nibble away Dragon Breath and we move for an Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail goes through. Aqua Tail hits neutral. It does do a reasonable amount, and we've got a nice high attack stat on our Gyarados, so it takes a reasonable chunk off. It's a cheap move, it's fine, it's good. Right, so probably an Outrage, as I said. Yep, there we go. That's them using all their energy, so we're just going to Dragon Breath them down and finish them off with Aqua Tail, just because we don't really want to risk them throwing a Sand Tomb. We win the switch, that's okay. We'll go for Togekiss, so we're just going to move straight into Snorlax. We're keeping our Gyarados for later, and they bring their Metagross out. That's okay, because we hit super effective with Lick, and we've got an Earthquake. And again, let's see if they think that's superpower and there's something they can tank. Looks like they do. Goodbye. Not going to shield here. There we go. Meteor Mash onto Snorlax. And the Togekiss comes in. We're going to get to Body Slam, just about. Yes. So this is the last Pokemon. This is a light damage move, so they can't really afford not to shield. Okay, well, they're going to let that go down. Probably good call, because Body Slam doesn't do a lot of damage. We're going to bring Gengar in, and we're just going to Shadow Claw them. Unless we build up 2 charge moves, we're just going to slam straight into shields, so we're just going to go straight Shadow Claws. throw the Shadow Ball just on the off chance that they're not going to shield it. I think they'd be utterly daft, but that's okay. And we're just going to carry on. There we go. Shield the next move. I think Shadow Claw's going to finish the job here just fine. There we go. And there we go. Let's see how we're doing. Gyarados into Togekiss. Okay, so switch immediately to Snorlax, and in comes a Machamp. Hard counter to us, but our Body Slams do some good work, so we're just going to let that go. Going to Body Slam it and let it land its charge moves. It hasn't thrown yet, which is odd. I assume it's building up. It might be building up to double close combat actually. So there we go. Machamp goes down without throwing a charge move. That's unfortunate. I wonder if they were lagging, because it looked like... Oh, my opponent concedes. Good game to my opponent. Right, leading into a Metagross, we are going to peck away with the Dragon Breaths and see how we're doing. There we go. So we'll go straight into a Crunch and look to pressure those shields. And there we go. We should let them each mash low land, and there we go. Aqua Tail coming through. Right, next up, Togekiss. We go to a switch into a Snorlax, and they switch immediately on us to a Dragonite. This is not looking quite so good, but actually a Dragonite is better for us than getting up against a Gengar in the back. Ironically, because the Dragon Breath does more damage really than a resisted charm. We're going to Body Slam the Dragonite and take it down that way. And we're going to Body Slam here. There we go. Licking away, and we have got the shield. We aren't quite going to get to our last Body Slam. That's okay, we're going to let it go down. This means the Gyarados can come back in and Dragon Breath down and finish off the Dragonite. Well, maybe not actually. At this point I am going to let it go, let the charge move down, go through, and there's a Dragon Claw. There we go. And next up, Gengar, and in comes Togekiss. So they've got the shield there. We're going straight into a Shadow Ball. Again, I hope they anticipate it being a bait, and they don't. Okay, well, good call. So we're just going to nibble away, and I think they're going to finish us off here. Yes, I don't think we're going to be able to finish off that Dragonite with Shadow Claws, but let's see. Shadow Ball's going to finish Togekiss. Yep. And Dragonite's low enough health, but so are we. Shield's still left. So it goes. Should have shielded a bit earlier. Alright, and into our last match, and off we go. Gyarados into Togekiss. Again, bad lead for us. We go for a switch to Snorlax and start nibbling away. Their Machamp comes in, so they hard counter us again. We essentially then Body Slam and try and take down the Machamp, nibble away at it, and there we go. Incoming charge move, probably a cross drop. There we go. There's a cross drop, and that's going to take us out nearly, but the Body Slam is going to go back their way. So at this point we've put the pressure on them, and okay, so they are going to finish off with probably counter down. Yeah, and so bring the Gyarados in, because that means it resists their... Oh no, Gengar, because obviously it double resists their fighting damage, and we just shield the Rock Slide. It's a cross drop, that's okay. We can get some energy farming going here, and that'll be quite good. Get the energy lead. At this point, it could still be a Rock Slide, so we are going to take the shield, and it was good call. So they've got the shield lead, but we've got a nice big energy lead, and this is Snorlax. Now, this is where I hope that they fall for the Sucker Punch and don't anticipate that we might have a Focus Blast. And they do. Oh well. So this is not looking good for us anymore, and I think this is game over. But we did get at least throw one Focus Blast in this set, so that's fine. And we did get a shield for it, so that's even better. But at this point we've got Gyarados against Togekiss. This is going to be tough, and I'm not so sure we're going to take this one. So there's the engine power coming through, and we're going to get to an Aqua Tail still. Yes, just about. Aqua Tail coming through. Gengar can come in and farm down, but I don't think it's going to be farm enough. And we are going to have to... No. Should have thrown the Shadow Ball. This is going to take us out now, so There we go. Engine power landing. Good game to my opponent. Right, there you go. That's your lot. Hope you enjoyed that. I quite enjoyed bringing this out for a play. I don't think actually having Focus Blast helped me at all. I threw one and it got shielded. So perhaps Shadow Punch is the way to go with this. Either way though, I thought it was fun to give it a try out, and I hope you enjoyed that. Have a good day.